The ego is a fascinating aspect of the human experience. It presents itself as our identity, our sense of self. But is it really who we are? What we often perceive as our self is actually a construct of the mind, a collection of thoughts, beliefs, and memories. This is the ego, the false self. The ego thrives on identification. It latches onto possessions, achievements, and even our thoughts and emotions, claiming them as mine. This constant need to identify with the impermanent creates a sense of separation from the world around us. We begin to see ourselves as separate entities, struggling for survival and significance. This illusion of separation is the root of much of our suffering. It fuels our fears, anxieties, and insecurities. When we believe ourselves to be separate from others and the world, we live in a state of constant fear and lack. We strive for more, always seeking validation and security outside of ourselves. This endless pursuit of the ego's desires keeps us trapped in a cycle of suffering. The ego's primary tool for maintaining its illusion is thought. Our minds are constantly producing thoughts, a never-ending stream of commentary, judgments, and worries. The ego seizes these thoughts, using them to reinforce its story of who we are and what we need. We become entangled in these thought patterns, believing them to be true representations of reality. We identify with our thoughts, mistaking them for our true selves. This identification with the mind creates a sense of separation from the present moment. We dwell on the past, replaying old memories and regrets. We worry about the future, anticipating problems and seeking certainty. This constant mental chatter prevents us from experiencing the fullness of life as it unfolds. We become lost in the labyrinth of our own minds, disconnected from the present moment and the peace it holds. The present moment, however, is all we ever truly have. It is the only place where life actually happens. The mind's incessant chatter is often fueled by unresolved emotions and past experiences. When we experience pain, trauma, or fear, the ego steps in to protect us. It creates defense mechanisms and coping strategies to shield us from further hurt. While these mechanisms may serve us in the short term, they often become ingrained patterns that keep us trapped in cycles of negativity. We carry the weight of past experiences with us, allowing them to color our perceptions and dictate our reactions. This emotional baggage weighs us down, preventing us from fully embracing the present moment. It is important to remember that we are not our thoughts. Thoughts are simply mental events, fleeting and impermanent. They do not define us unless we allow them to. By becoming aware of our thought patterns, we can begin to detach from them. We can observe them without judgment, allowing them to pass through our minds like clouds drifting across the sky. Section 4. Stress and the divided self. In stressful situations, the ego's grip on our sense of self tightens. Fear arises, and the ego reacts with its usual arsenal of defense mechanisms. We may become defensive, argumentative, or withdrawn, seeking to protect ourselves from perceived threats. This heightened state of stress can lead to a sense of duality within ourselves. We may feel torn between different courses of action, unsure of which path to take. This internal conflict arises from the ego's desire to maintain control. It wants to dictate the narrative to keep us safe within its limited understanding of the world. However, this need for control ultimately creates more suffering. When we resist the present moment, we create resistance within ourselves. This resistance manifests as stress, anxiety, and inner turmoil. We become disconnected from the flow of life, battling against the natural order of things. Section 5. Finding stillness within. So how do we break free from the ego's grip and reconnect with our true selves? The key lies in cultivating awareness and practicing presence. By becoming more mindful of our thoughts, emotions, and bodily sensations, we can begin to observe the ego's machinations without getting swept away by them. Meditation is an invaluable tool for cultivating this awareness. By taking even a few minutes each day to sit in stillness and observe the breath, we can create space between ourselves and the constant chatter of the mind. This space allows us to see our thoughts and emotions more clearly, recognizing them as transient phenomena rather than defining characteristics. Through regular meditation, we begin to cultivate a sense of inner peace and stillness. We learn to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment, allowing them to arise and pass away without resistance. This practice gradually weakens the ego's hold on our sense of self, revealing the peace and clarity that lie beneath the surface of our thoughts.